Hello, welcome to Stampin' All Day with Bev. It's 2 o'clock and I just realized, I think that I don't have a page number. I don't. It's 2 o'clock though and I got to get started, so I'm looking for the masking paper, the page number. Let's see if I found it here. Adhesive sheets, no. Anyway. How are you guys doing? I don't see anybody on yet, so I'm just going to keep looking until I see some numbers. And I'll get started when I see some numbers. Where would that be? There we go. We have some numbers. I'll find it later. Hi, Carol. Okay, so we're going to continue on with Hello Harvest. This is the last time I'm going to use it, though, because I've shown you a whole lot. Hi, Bev. And I am so thrilled with this whole bundle and all the things that come with it that I don't know, it's just amazing to me how beautiful it is. So I'm going to turn you down. I've got a new hostess code for this month and I have some winners to announce, so let's just turn down and do that. Hey, Marianne. Okay. Get you situated here a little bit. Welcome to Stampin' All Day with Bev. I am your host, Beverly Morales, and I live in Tracy, California. Hi, Sharon. Yes, welcome to August. Here is my new August host code, and there is the link if you want to shop with me, and there is my YouTube channel. There's also my email in case you need to get in touch with me. That's the fastest way to do it. Have some announcements to make before we get started. There's more to celebrate. Starting today, there's additional items you can earn free with a qualifying order. We have the timber embossing folder, the Flower of Homes dies. Hi, Carol. We have the silver foil 12 by 12. We have gingham embossing folder, the dots and spots dies. Ooh. The daffodil dies, the aspen tree dies, the craft gift boxes, seashell embossing folder, and brush metallic 12 by 12. So if you have a qualifying order, $50, all the ones in yellow are the $50, and then in the green, the soft succulent color, are the $100. Hi, Annie. Hi, Louise. So that's fun. And then I had the cutting plates for the emboss and cut machine as the prize for July. And I selected a winner this morning. And she happened to pop by just about an hour ago, so I gave it to her. But you guys knew it was the cutting plates, right? And the winner was Debbie Pine. She was thrilled, she was shocked, she was happy, she was all of those things. Congratulations, Debbie. She has not won the prize of the month before, so she was super excited. Speaking of that, what is the prize for August? Here is the prize for August. A pack of these beautiful blending brushes. I try to pick prizes that are either consumable or that we need multiple of. And 3 blending brushes are something everybody can use. I don't care how many you have, it's not enough. You want one for every color eventually, right? So this will be the prize for August. So if you place an order with me, there's no minimum, there's no maximum. I just go back the first day or the second day of the following month and I see who ordered from me, and I randomly pick a winner using the wheel of names. All right, so the winner of my little purse that I made at the last live. Now she actually gets to choose if she wants a large, a small, a Christmas, or this pattern. This is a little smaller. This is a 10 by 10, I believe. Now these two do not have cards inside, So that might make a difference to the winner. Just because I haven't had a chance to make any, oh my goodness. But this one does. This one has 2 cards with the note cards and envelopes inside. If you did not see this, you can go back and watch the replay. But there they are. I had 2 people here that learned to make these. Hi, Debbie. And they just loved them in person. So hopefully you love them too. Who is the winner? Susan Backus. Susan, I don't think you've won before. In fact, I think you're pretty new here. So I need your address, and I need it before Sunday so I can announce whoever won. You know, I'll have a new winner by then, so that's what I do. I'd have to give time limits or else I'd be waiting for a long time. So you have until Sunday to get me your address, and if you would email it to me at the email address I just showed, I'll show it again, then I will get it fast and I can get this out to you. There is my email address. Again, the winner is Susan Backus. Congratulations. It's a great prize. Yes, it is. And she gets to pick which one she wants. So just let me know, Susan. I'm going to put this back over there with those purses so I don't forget who the winner was. I think I'm going to try to get you guys out here a little bit better. There, that's better. All right. I'm having so much fun with this set, as you know, with this bundle. The dies, the rustic pumpkin dies. And I've paired up the rectangle stitch dies, and I've paired up the playful alphabet dies, which are retired, but an alphabet set with this bunch of products is awesome. And I also used, while I was playing, the circle dies, circle stitch dies. These here, they come with all the regular circles, and then they come with the scallop circles, and I used the 2 largest ones. I like the largest one for one of the projects, but then I layered, and I like the next size down with that too, but you'll see what I'm talking about when I get there. And I am loving the Stampin' Up! Masking paper. My last live, I mentioned that the only thing I hadn't shared with you yet was the pumpkin and the flowers that will pop out of the pumpkin. And I thought that this was a perfect opportunity to show somebody how to use this masking paper. Usually I always used to mask with Post-it note, but usually Post-it note, you use it once, maybe twice if you're lucky, and then you had to toss it and create another mask. This is so much easier. Hello, Joan. So I'm thrilled with this. And here's the code, but I forgot to look up the page number, so I can look that up later if you ask me, and I'll get that going. I have quite a few things here to show you, and I don't even know where to start. So I think I'll just start with the masking technique on a piece of white cardstock, just to show you how these masks work. I'm not going to do it on cardstock. I'm going to do it on vellum. This is the circle die I was talking about. And it is the largest one. And I'm going to use black Memento ink and my masking tape. Hi, Debbie. And my stamps, of course. So I'm going to use the flowers because I promised you that I was going to do that. And I'm going to use the pumpkin. And then I'll use some of the dies that are already cut out. So the black Memento ink on vellum does not dry instantly. So that's the first thing you have to know if you're new. You have to stamp this and let it dry or it will smear. However, I've done one in advance, so you don't have to wait for this to dry. to see how it works. I'm going to stamp the flowers towards the top of my circle in the same manner I would be stamping on paper. Bev, wonderful Bev, has told us it's $7 on page 149, and that's the masking paper. Thank you, Bev. Now, what I have noticed with this masking paper is that I have been able to use it over and over and over. This is a piece here that I have been using for quite a while. I think I used it 8 times already. Now, I just told you that this isn't dry yet, so I don't want to mask on this because this is sticky. Hi, Janet, obviously, to be a mask. And if you put it on to the project wet, it will pull some of the ink off. So you have to let this dry. So now I'm going to show you how the masks work while I'm letting this one dry. Okay, so let me see again. This might be, I don't know if I will be longer today or not because I have so many things to show you that I might take longer than I normally do. I usually try to be around the half-hour mark. Hi, Jean, but when you've got a lot to show, you got a lot to show, right? Okay, so there we go. Now on cardstock, the black ink dries a lot faster, so I'm not too worried about pulling that ink off. Let's use this old mask. So this would be like the 8th or 9th, I think it's the 9th time I've used this mask. And I'm just lining it up with the image I just stamped. So I will not get any ink on anything that I just stamped. Okay. Hi, Cookie. Okay. So now this flower stamped image is covered up with this mask, and you can see how many times I've stamped on this already, and it's still sticky. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that you put this mask in your stamp set and you can use it over and over and over and over. This is number 8 or 9. I can't remember how many I should have counted, but I didn't. Now I'm going to place my pumpkin on top of the mask, and I'm going to put it so the flowers are like halfway down. So I'm putting the pumpkin pretty high up onto the mask, and then I'm giving a lot of pressure here. Okay, so that looks ugly because, like I said, that mask has been used many times. Now here is a pumpkin mask, and I am, hi Sandra, gonna lay this mask, which has only been used once before, onto the pumpkin image that I just stamped. And then I'm going to stamp this pumpkin again. So I have mask number 1 still on there and mask number 2 on there now. And I'm going to go partially onto this pumpkin mask, and it's partially onto the flower mask also. So if you have not seen masking before, which I know 1 or 2 of you that are here have not, you're going to see this now. Now this was the very, very, very first technique I learned when I wasn't even a demonstrator yet. This is what my daughter showed me with balloons. She showed me how to mask, but like I said, we used Post-it note back then. So a pumpkin on either side of the original pumpkin is what I'm doing. Now I'm going to cover up my stamp pad, move my stamp out of the way, and I will start to remove the masks. So this paper mask is going to come up, and just be patient with it. Just pull slowly. Don't rip out really fast. It is sticky. It needs to be to do its job. And what you're seeing here as far as a mess goes is the other mask, because I've used it so much. It has so many different images on it. So we're going to pull this one off too. And when it starts to do what it's just doing now for the first time, like I said, this is 8 or 9 uses, it ripped because I've been using it so much. I can now throw this one away and use a new one. Now, the other thing, I see how we have 3 pumpkins, 2 behind the first original, ready to color. Hi, Karen, in whichever manner you want to. I just love it. So here is an example of once it's colored. And notice I have the little stars here also, just for some added fun. Now, oh, thank you. Now, what I want to show you, in case you have never heard of this before, is you take your combo glue and you do a little circular motion right in the middle of the sunflowers. And I would do this last, but I just don't want you to wait. I just want to show you. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Barbara. Honestly, let it set up a second. So I'm going to let that just set up a second. We're going to go back to this one. Now, if this was dry, which it's not, I would mask it like I just showed you, and I would stamp the pumpkin over this. And then I would get this look. So, to color this in, I want to use regular markers. Regular markers, not the blends and not the watercolor pencils. However, on this one, I did use watercolor pencils. So, when you're going to color on vellum, you need to flip it to the back side and color the back side. Because can you see, I'll bring it up close once I'm done coloring this, how dark it is on the back side? But when I flip it over to the front, the vellum just makes it so much more subtle. The color is not this dark, dark, dark color that the markers make, which I love. I don't really care for it this dark like this. So when I flip it over, I have a very nice colored image that's very subtle and sweet. Okay, now to our designer series paper. Same size scallop circle cut out and layer on top, and now you see the little dots in the paper and more of the Cajun Craze color, and this becomes really pretty. So you've learned 3 things already in the past 16 minutes or so. How to mask, what we're going to do next with the centers of the sunflowers, how to color on vellum, and how to add designer series paper behind for a little more interest. Okay, let me go back to this now. I hope I'm not confusing you. Okay, something just happened. My whole screen went black, but then it came back on. So I hope we're good. Hi, Debbie. I have a little bowl of coffee grounds here. So I am going to sprinkle coffee grounds on the centers of my sunflowers. And anytime I do a sunflower, this is a way I add dimension. The coffee grounds makes your sunflower look so realistic. Now what I'm doing now is I'm just pressing down so the coffee grounds get squished into the glue. And that's why I let the glue set up a few minutes, so it's tacky and this coffee will stick to it very well. And then I just pounce it off and you have a realistic center for your sunflowers. See that? Okay. So if you have Keurig, you can just open one little guy and keep that at your desk and use that whenever you want to add that to your sunflowers. All right, so where do I go from here? I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I wanted to use more vellum with these projects here, but I knew that if I put glue to attach these together, you would see it. So I went to my sewing machine. Yes, and it didn't take any time, honestly. And I'm making a bunch of these. I'm going to start saving my husband's coffee grounds. Yes. Well, these are not used. These are before we make coffee. I just poured a little in a bowl. Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because I don't know if somebody was thinking used coffee grounds. These are fresh, not been used. So I took my sewing machine and I stitched these two pieces together. This little die here is the top stem of the pumpkin, and I used designer series paper to cut one out. The leaves are in the set and the die to cut them out, and the little curly cues. So there is a pumpkin stitched with the sewing machine, the vellum to the designer series paper. Why did I do that? Because I wanted a candy holder. So inside here is individually wrapped mint thins, Thin Mints. So they're thin. They fit in here perfect. This is the largest circle. They stand up just like that. And I have a piece of cardstock for the back. So these are going to be little treats that I have on a tray in my house. So when I have visitors during the fall, I can hand out little treats. So here is 2 of them already made on my tray. And I will just make a tray full and keep them like this to hand out. The hello is also in the stamp set, and the check black and white ribbon looks super cute. Now look at the difference between this one. Before I sewed this completely shut, I put some of the effervescent elements inside, and so it's shaker. Yes, isn't this a cute tray, Annie? One of my dear friends sold it to me. She was so sweet to do that. So I layered this next to the largest circle onto the candy, and then the largest circle behind. So it's layered. You can see from the top that you can see the back, but the front is smaller than the back. Good question. How does the candy stay in place? So once I sew these together, they're not moving. I can do it right now. I take a mini glue dot. Now this isn't going to stay because it's not sewn yet, but before I sew, I take a mini glue dot and I take the stem. This one's out of crumb cake cardstock, and I put it to the back of the designer series paper. And I want this designer series paper, the lines to be straight up and down. So I just hook that on like that. Then I take, everything's already cut out when I do this. So I take a leaf and a curly cue. More mini glue dots. Now with these curly cues, be very gentle when you pull this off because they're thin and you could rip them. So I put one there, and then I take the leaf, and this is garden green for the leaf, and this is evening evergreen for the curly cue cardstock. Okay, and then I put this one here. Then I go to my sewing machine and I stitch it all down. So everything's being held with the stitching. So nothing's going to come apart. Then I flip it over and I put a piece of tear and tape to answer your question, just like this. Pull the backing off, stick the candy down, put another piece on the back, pull the backing off and put it on top. And so they stay really, really secure with tear and tape. If you have one of my adhesive bags, you already have all of that. In fact, speaking of that, I have one more adhesive bag ready here still. Okay, so these are darling one-piece little candy items to hand out to my girlfriends. Now, the reason I'm saying to my girlfriends is because we look at all this work, right? And we think, if I just give it to a child, they're just going to rip it and it just breaks your heart, right? Well, us ladies, we won't do that. Well, some of us might. I've had that happen before. A non-stamper might. But, and that's okay too. I just wanted some dimension on that, so I used my bone folder to curl the leaf. But I just think it's such a cute idea to have this ready to give out on a little tray like this. All right, so I couldn't stop there though. I took a piece of 11 by 4 1/4 piece of vellum. So that's a half a sheet. That's a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet cut in half, portrait style. So now you have 4 1/4 by 11, and I folded it right in half. Maybe, I shouldn't just explain stuff like that. Maybe I should show you, because some people are very visual, i.e. me. I'm very visual. So here is the vellum. It's a full sheet, and I just go to 4 1/4, which is exactly half of the vellum. And now I have 2 pieces. Okay, and I'm making these packets also. And here's my thought. This holds more candy, but it holds 4. So if I have a couple, or, a husband and wife here, I can just give 1 packet and they can have 2 candies each. Or I can just hold up the tray and let them decide which one they want. So this is what I meant. Just fold it in half. To decorate the inside, I used our gorgeous designer series paper. See that? It just tones it down a tad. And I just love, hi Andrea. I just love the toned down look as well as the bright look. They're both beautiful. So I thought, how is this gonna hold candy? So again, to my sewing machine, down the sides, down the bottom, and up. I am not a sewer. I've never made, well, in high school I made some things that didn't turn out so well. But I can sew a straight line, so this was okay for me. So now we have a packet that will hold stuff. Pretty good size. Hi, Lori. So let me show you my first one. I told you I couldn't stop. Earlier I mentioned that I incorporated with all of these things the rectangle stitch dies. This is the largest one. I just folded it in half and put it on top of my packet to create a closure. So here's a piece of the rectangle stitch. Fold it in half. And this will be, you're going to glue the back of this and glue it to the back. And this is going to be how you keep your seed packet closed. Now, I went to Walmart yesterday. My husband says that at the grocery stores they have sunflower seeds. I was looking for pumpkin seeds, but I couldn't find any. but seeds of pumpkin seeds would be super cute in here, so I'm just going to wait to fill this one up with pumpkin seeds. Looks like I may have put something in here already that I don't even remember. Oh, I did. Look at that. The same technique I showed you at the beginning, but this is embossed with gold embossing and then embossed with our folders and a little strip of the DSP there. So I wanted to show you that if you don't want to put seeds in here, a little note card and its envelope will surely fit in here. This little stem, Home Depot, really? Okay, oh yeah, oh, I gotcha. In the garden center maybe? This little stem cuts out the thumb hole or the pull or whatever you want to call it. The 1/2 inch circle punch that is retired made my closures. Hey, Rosemary. And the little brads that I've told you all to get already. I hope you've got them, the rounds and the square brads. Hi, Mary Jo. Hold this closed, and it just totally, I've always loved seed packets, so I enjoy making this type of a closure. And our alphabet, whichever ones you have, this is one that I have. I keep my alphabets forever. This one's called Playful Alphabet for a seed packet. Okay, so that was super easy, right? There's not even any stamping on that one. Well, the card is stamped, but if you put seeds in there, there's not even stamping on that one. Same exact thing, but I used a circle punch to make a bigger pull. The same stem to make a pull, and this time it's a card using the Designer Series paper and our butterflies. So this is now an envelope for a card. Crazy, huh? I just couldn't stop. Just could not stop. Now this one, I did not use a sewing machine. I used the, I forget the name of them, but they have that squirrely stitch on there. I forgot that I even did this one, so I dry embossed on the machine the largest one first and then put it together, but you do see the glue. So that's what made me think about stitching on my machine. That doesn't look too bad to me, but if you don't like that, then the stitching on the machine is for you like it is for me. All right, and then the technique I just showed you with masking. Look at this one. Oh my gosh, I love this one so much because the flowers, the mums in the DSP show through, and the pine cone even add more flowers coming out of this pumpkin to me. So the same exact idea. Fold in half, put your DSP in there. This time I made it longer by 1/4 of an inch, the DSP longer by 1/4 of an inch, so I could fold down a cuff. See how there's a cuff there? And since my 1/2 inch punch was stitched with Whimsy, yes, that's the one. This 1/2 inch circle punch was right here on my desk, so I just punched both the pulls there. Then I went to my machine and I stitched a straight line on both ends and the bottom. So now my DSP is attached to the vellum. I colored this vellum the same way that I just taught you how to do at the beginning of this live. And then I added our ribbon all the way around and tied a bow. Super easy, ladies. Now this one holds 4 York Thin Mints. So you could give this to one person or you could give it to a couple, whatever you want to do. But I hope you like the idea of having a tray full of goodies out in the fall, just as a little something, something to give your friends. Look how pretty this is starting to look. Did I have one more? Thought I did. Yeah, the seeds. Starting to fill up my tray. And just say thanks for coming and just let them have whichever one they want to pick. Here's a card. So the winner of this, when I pick a winner for Sunday, you're going to get to pick whichever one you want. I'm not going to send the candy through just because it'll probably smush and melt and not be pretty when you get it. So you can get your Thin Mints and add one to it. I'll have everything on here. Probably be this one if that's what you pick, if you pick one of these. And then I'll have the 2 pieces with the tape on there so you can put your Thin Mint on and you'll be done. The work's done for you. So, do you guys like the Hello Harvest bundle and designer series paper and all the things that come with this set? I hope you do. I love it. I'm going to say goodbye to it now for a while until I start using it again for my own personal use. But I've shown you 4 different lives with a ton of things you can do. So oh, good, Annie. Thank you for all the hearts, everybody. This tray in person just invites fall. This paper just flows with it well. So I'm thrilled. Okay, ladies, you have a great day. And I'll see. Oh, one more thing. Oh, I knew I was going to forget. I cannot have open house this month. I'm sorry. It's my granddaughter's birthday. She's going to be 26, and she never comes here on her birthday. She's an adult. She has a full-time job. She lives 3 hours away. Well, guess what? The whole family's coming, and they're staying Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some are leaving Friday, and some are leaving Saturday. So I cannot have open house on Thursday. That is her birthday, and we're going to be gone. We're going to go watch the Giants play. And then we're going to have fun-filled next couple of days. So I know you understand. I tried to make it for the 11th, and that didn't work either. I have other appointments that I cannot change. So no open house this month. I can't tell you how sad I am about that, but I hope you guys understand. You know, I always say it's Jesus, it's family, and then it's Stampin' Up. All right, you all. Have a nice week. Take care. Bye-bye.